Steven Coreno, KO Artist Sports. We're here with the one and only Eddie Hearn. Man, I mean, I just came back from Vegas yesterday, but I know you have to be more tired than I am. I feel like what's this whirlwind been like? I mean, you got this crazy, the reckoning and and then now we're here for Diego Pacheco, man.
Yeah, it's been, probably like 4 weeks now on the road in consecutive shows, and we've got this massive run up to Christmas, which originally December 23rd was a weekend off. Now, obviously, it's Joshua in Saudi Arabia, so it's an amazing run. Every week is a different city around the world. It's a great time for boxing, and feeling great and looking forward to seeing one of our brightest young stars shine tomorrow night in Los Angeles in Diego Pacheco.
Man, Day of Reckoning is what an incredible present. It was kind of nuts to see all those people on stage, especially kind of you and Frank. What was I think you guys had a little chat in the back as well. What was that like?
We were pretty late to the party, really. Probably like 3 or 4 days before the press conference, maybe 5 or 6, the talk started with our fighters, which were Dimitri Bivol, which were Jai Opetaia, and of course Anthony Joshua. So, when I met His Excellency and the team from Saudi Arabia, they're not interested in the rivalry, the politics, the history. And it's kind of refreshing. It's like, look, guys, just get it done. This is what we want to make. It's a massive opportunity for boxing and your fighters. Stop the rubbish and get it done. So we need to thank him because, it ended with myself, having a meeting with Frank Warren and obviously sitting 2 seats down on the press conference. And, like I said, we were late to the party. It was a show that was already in motion, but delighted to be involved in the show. Obviously, AJ's headlining and, it's a massive opportunity, massive card as well. Probably the best card top to bottom I've seen. Any night where you've got Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, and I appreciate everyone wants them two to fight, and I do believe that will come. But in competitive, good fights on the card, Daniel Dubois, Baby Miller, Bivol, Jai Opetaia, Hrgovic, it's just a huge night of boxing. And it's going to be a big night before we wrap up for 2023.
Why, you mentioned obviously everyone wants to see those two together, right? AJ and Deontay Wilder, we've been talking about it since they both had belts. Now they don't have belts. I mean, are we still kind of pushing it too far back? I mean, why wasn't it able to?
Because really we had 6 weeks. This offer was made to us 6 weeks out. Not the offer to fight Deontay Wilder, but under the understanding that that's where we want to go to in the spring. If both guys win on this card, AJ against Wilder becomes the biggest fight in the sport of boxing, right? It's two guys that can switch your lights out at any moment. And when you talk about styles making fights, that is just a tremendous style matchup that is so exciting for the division. So, there's still things to be done, but I'm very confident that we will get this made. But first things first, both guys got to win on the 23rd, particularly AJ, who I think is in a really tough fight against Wilding. 6 weeks notice, a good southpaw in Wilding, coming off a big win in Russia against Gassiev as well. So I know what's coming, but I want business to be taken care of in Riyadh first.
It is very dangerous. I mean, both of those guys, right? Even Joseph Parker is a good.
Well, looks well, fit, got a good chin. I think both guys, Wilder and AJ, favourites in the fight, but again, real competitive matchups.
Yeah, no, looking forward. You said it'd be the biggest fight in boxing. Do you think it even surpasses, Tyson Fury versus Usyk for undisputed?
Yeah, I do, because of the style of the fight. Like Fury Usyk is a fascinating fight, and it's a massive fight. The styles are, they're both fiddly and smart, but AJ against Wilder, when you're talking about heavyweight shootouts, that is just one that you just watch for your fingers. It's so violent. And that's what people want to see. So look, both tremendous heavyweight fights, and I'm biased obviously, but I do think Wilder, AJ, especially if they both win in style on December 23, would be huge.
Tyson recently bested AJ in the sexiest sportsman alive. What'd you think about that?
What a world we live in. Where was my vote? I can't believe it. But
you weren't even top 10.
No, I know. I probably weren't even top 100, to be fair. Congratulations to Tyson Fury. He's one sexy man. I guess people like different kind of stuff these days.
Yeah, I guess what
traditional, us traditional handsome people.
Right.
We're not in the market anymore. Yeah.
So we're out, bro. Man, just looking forward. Shakur Stevenson. I don't know if you saw the fight last night. I don't know. What were your thoughts on the fight and just,
I'm disappointed because I always champion Shakur Stevenson, right? I think he's a tremendous fighter. I think I'm not saying he's unbeatable, but he may be. right? I just like fighters have got to understand that this is an entertainment business, and it's so difficult as a promoter to say to a fighter or their training team, you've got to throw more punches, you've got to be more aggressive, if stand in the pocket and trade at top, like, because it's a dangerous game, and the art of boxing is hit and don't get hit, right? And win by any means necessary. But at the same time, don't expect to be making millions and millions of dollars if you can't put bums on seats, if you can't get people to tune in. And, you know, you might as well just be straight up honest and say his value will keep decreasing in nights like that. No one's going to want to watch him fight if you put in performances like that. Now, he was ill, he hurt his hand or whatever it was. And listen, I can't praise him enough. Like, I think, and we shouldn't be too harsh on him, everyone has an off night. But this is consistently, his style is not always pleasing on the eye, but he's brilliant. So, and it's so hard to say, like, if he was more aggressive, he might lose. Do you know what I mean? So, but the problem is when he comes to the negotiation table, when the contract's up or whatever it is, the promoter or the network or, you know, the person paying the money is looking at the numbers and the excitement. So I hope next time he can be more exciting. And as I said, I'll never criticise Shakur because I think he's an amazing fighter. But there's a lot of heat after last night, and he's also quite outspoken, not arrogant, but quite cocksure of himself. So when you put in a performance like that, everyone's going to get on your back and give you criticism because of the way that you are. So that's life. Take it on the chin, get better.
Former undisputed Devin Haney, is fighting Regis Prograis in a couple of weeks here. Man, it's a good fight. Devin's looking like he's filling in at 140, so I don't think he's going back down.
No, I think that he's done remarkably well to keep making 135 pounds. It's a great fight. We're going to have 16,000 in San Francisco. I'm so happy with the fight. I'm so happy the way it's been built, the way it's been promoted, and still quite a few weeks to go. So. Buzzing to get to San Francisco, and a real 50-50 fight. People talk about Devin's boxing skills, but Regis is so confident. I love what I'm hearing from his camp. He can punch really hard. I think it's a tremendous fight, and can't wait to get to San Francisco for that one.
Yeah, it's going to be a great one. Just want to wrap up here. Next week, David Benavidez versus Boo Boo Andrade. People have been avoiding Boo Boo here for a reason. He's finally getting a shot at a very aggressive style, which kind of plays into his style a little bit. What do you think that one looks like?
Yeah, I think it's a good fight. I mean, the big fight next week, of course, is Chantel Cameron rematching Katie Taylor in Dublin. But that's a really great fight stateside, and I think David Benavidez will win that fight by stoppage in the second half of the fight. I think he'll find it really difficult against Demetrius, who's a genius, really. But I just feel like it's passed him by, and I'm pleased that he's getting the big fights because it was really difficult to get him when he was with us, and he's so skilled. But I just feel like he's going to get overrun by a big 168-pounder. You'll probably see Demetrius Andrade look so sharp in the first 4 or 5 rounds. He may school Benavidez, and then Benavidez has just got to keep cutting the ring off, walking him down, hitting him to the body, and I do think he'll stop him late on in the fight.
Do you think that's the winner of that fight ends up being, kind of the clear-cut person who should fight Canelo next?
Yeah, I don't think, the problem is, again, with Demetrius is he's not a style or a fighter that those guys are going to want to fight. But if Benavidez beats Andrade, really, Benavidez against Canelo has to happen in 2024. And I see Canelo with no issue in delivering that for the fans because I know he wants to fight the best. So let's see what happens next week.
Last one, I've heard, I don't know if this is a rumor, maybe you could tell me if it's true or not. I know the Saudis are interested in having Bivol and Artur Beterbiev unification sometime next year. Is that any conversation with them about?
Yeah, of course. That they want to bring the big fights to the kingdom, and that's one of the biggest. Unfortunately for Artur Beterbiev, he's going to lose his belts to Callum Smith on January the 13th. So it's going to be Bivol against Callum Smith for the undisputed. But we shall see. But yeah, that's either way, massive fights, and I'm sure those conversations will continue.
Last one. I know we touched on it already. You kind of said stylistically, Fury and Usyk is kind of like a boxers fighting each other. But do you lean one way or the other?
I think I was a big. I thought Fury was a favourite, but after the last performance against Ngannou, who knows? But I think because of his size, I still make Fury the favourite in that fight.
Any plans for Ngannou? I know,
I think he'll hang around and probably wait for Fury. I don't know whether he's going to want to risk it against somebody else, but who knows? Great performance from him, and I'm sure he'll be in a big fight soon.
Eddie, thank you so much for your time, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.